You know, usually after we get a brand new trailer and a PlayStation blog and all sorts of information for a game like what we did with Ghost of Yotei recently, we have to wait a decent while until we get some new marketing material. That doesn't seem to be the case here. The co-creative directors of the game did an interview where they broke down a ton of new information about the game. We're going to go over things like the open world's map size. We're also going to talk about some of the things that they're going to be including in this game that come from Japanese culture. That and so much more we break down here in today's video. Real quick though, if you're new here, this is a brand new channel. We're going to be covering all sorts of games here on this channel, like Doom the Dark Ages, Ghost of Yotei, GTA 6, and so much more. Hit that thumbs up button if you're hyped for these games, and subscribe and turn on those notifications if you want to see me cover all these games. But alright, let's jump into this. Big shout out to the folks at the Video Games Chronicle for breaking down a Japanese article from Famitsu and translating some information into English so that I can report on it here now for you guys. The headline reading, Sucker Punch shares new Ghost of Yotei details as the game's non-linear campaign is explained. Non-linear campaign sounds interesting. I imagine that has a lot to do with what we did hear about from the PlayStation blog, in which you can go after the Yotei 6, the people who killed Atsu's family, in any order that you wish. But alright, it says below here, the game's co-creative directors Nate Fox and Jason Cornell have spoken to Famitsu, shedding light on the next game from Sucker Punch. With a quote here from Nate Fox saying that the main theme of the game is revenge. The main character, Atsu, has a big trauma in her childhood and goes on a journey to get revenge. So yes, just like I mentioned, you know, we have the Yotei 6, these are the people that killed Atsu's family, that left her for dead. We see a lot of that in the latest trailer for the game. And it makes a lot of sense that the main theme of the game would to be revenge in this case. I do agree with a lot of people online that are saying that, you know, that's sort of treading familiar ground. There are a lot of games that have dealt with these themes, and I'm wondering how Sucker Punch is going to bring something unique to the table here. It's also mentioned in the article that Atsu does carry a sash with her that has the names of the Yotei 6 on it, and she'll be crossing their names off the list. We actually see, I didn't even realize this or break it down in my previous video. In the latest trailer, she crosses off one of those names by wiping the blood off of her sword with, I imagine, she killed the person with. It was also confirmed in Famitsu's article, the original article that we're talking about here, that that sash is worn by Atsu at all times, regardless of what costume you apply to the character. That's just something she is always carrying. She always has it by her side, and she's ready to cross some names off the list whenever you kill one of those outlaws. It also says here in the article regarding some Japanese culture and some of the research that went into the game that Fox and Cornell visited the game's setting, which today is known as the prefecture of Hokkaido, to research the game. That's right, at the time that Ghost of Yotei takes place, the open world setting was known as Izo, and now in present day, it is known as Hokkaido. And the co-creative directors went and visited Hokkaido to do their research for this game. We got a quote here from them once again that says, "We have received cooperation from various advisors regarding the depiction of Anyu people and Anyu culture of the time. Like with the previous game, we have also thoroughly researched Japanese culture and incorporated it into this project." I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this, but Anyu culture and those people we actually can see in the game's trailer. The latest trailer that was put out, one of the Anyu people is talking to Atsu. And this is great. I love that they're going for that level of authenticity. It allows you to immerse yourself even more into this world. So I'm glad that they're doing that again here with Ghost of Yotei. And then a quote from Jason Cornell says, "I also went to Hokkaido to research Anyu culture, and we had people knowledgeable about Anyu culture introduce me to museums and folk crafts, which I incorporated into the worldview of this work. By the way, I also went to the mountain with them and had the experience of picking wild vegetables." And in regards to the non-linear story, once again, it is mentioned here in the article that yes, you can hunt down the members of the Yotei 6 in any order. Now, I'm very intrigued to see if they're really committing to that, because there's very clearly a leader of the outlaws. So can I go after the leader first thing, like right away, and then go after the other guys after that? Or is it more so like I can go after all the other members of the Yotei 6 except for the leader, and the leader's always the last one you go for? I don't know. I'm very interested to see how they're going to execute this specific element of the game, because as I said in my previous video, if they do execute this well, it'll make it so that 10 different people who play this game will have 10 different experiences of the story. And I wonder if there are different cutscenes or different pieces of dialogue that take place depending on what order you go through. This has me intrigued. I'm gonna wait and see, though. I'm reserving judgment. I'm not 100% sure if they're gonna be able to execute on this, but we'll see. And then yes, there is gonna be new weapons you're gonna be using in this game. We saw that in the latest trailer, so there's gonna be lots of new stuff we can use. The reveal trailer did show that we are gonna have guns. We're gonna have teppos in this game, so that's cool. And you might might recognize from Assassin's Creed Shadow, we have Kusarigamas. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, okay? It's like where she has that hook that's tied to the chain. That weapon looks awesome. We're gonna get that in Ghost of Yotei as well, among many other different weapon types, including dual katanas. One of the things that really excited me when I was reading this article here from the Video Games Chronicle, it mentions a quote. In terms of open world adventure, Ghost of Yotei has the greatest freedom and biggest map of any open world game we have ever made. I mean, listen, okay, big open world doesn't automatically equal great game, okay? We can all agree on that. However, from what we have seen in the previous 2 trailers and from what we have already experienced playing Ghost of Tsushima, I just can't wait to explore what they are saying is the biggest open world they've ever made. I'm just excited for the scenery. I'm excited to jump into photo mode and spend hours upon hours lining up the perfect looks of this game. And I imagine there are going to be so many instances in which you walk up on a beautiful view and you're just like, I have to play photo mode. I have to jump into photo mode right now. There are a couple of more details that I wanted to go over that were actually broken down by a Twitter user by the name of Genki. First of all, they mentioned here, breaking down the article, that you will actually be able to experience different seasons through various environments that you travel through. So I will say, this is the one thing that I really liked about Assassin's Creed Shadows, is that there are different seasons that just happen through gameplay. And the same open world that you are exploring in that game can be set in winter or spring or summer. Whereas it looks like in Ghost of Yotei, there are going to be areas of the open world where over there, it's the winter, it's snowing. Or over here, you've got the fall leaves. Or over here, you got the summer leaves, things like that. It is kind of a bummer that they aren't going to incorporate like natural seasons into the gameplay, but I mean, if it's going to be one of the biggest open worlds that they've ever made, I don't know if I'm going to be complaining too much. It was also mentioned that in gameplay, you can throw certain weapons that enemies drop at other enemies. I'm interested to see how that's going to be done when you're just in the middle of combat. And then finally, for Atsu herself, our main protagonist of the game, it's mentioned that Atsu carries her mother's shamisen instrument on her back. And yeah, we can actually see this instrument on her back in the latest gameplay trailer. I imagine they're going to use this similarly to how we use the flute in Ghost of Tsushima. You know, when you would use the flute, you could actually change the weather. So if you wanted it to be like rainier, if you wanted it to be like a thunderstorm almost, you just play the flute until you get to that weather type. If you were sick and tired of it being rainy and you wanted the sun to come out, do that same thing. Just play the flute, it changes the weather. So maybe they're going to do something similar with that, but with a new instrument now in Ghost of Yotei. And that just about does it for all the brand new details that we got about the game. Again, I'm very surprised that we're getting this much new information so shortly after we got a brand new trailer. But then again, the game is coming out on October 2nd, and I mean, they're going to probably be marketing the hell out of this throughout the entire summer leading up to its release. And you know, I got you guys locked right here on this brand new channel. With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you looking forward to Ghost of Yotei? I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.